Like, oh, I want to, curate experiences for people. Well, that can pay, but you've got to figure out how to do that, monetize that. But if it's truly something that brings you bliss, that's where you should be spending your time. So why do you think people are not? So I think that's one of the reasons. People feel like I can't tie it to money, I can't do this, I have to have a corporate job, whatever that looks like. Why else do you think people are not doing this or even taking this seriously? Because this seems, the word that I used to get all the time when I started delving into this type of inner development for myself was like, it's very woo woo, right?
Yeah.
It's very like granola tree huggy, which is why I'm the natural diva, because I'm like, I'm a diva, but I'm still a bit natural. And in tune with like what it takes to make this dash count, right? People talk about the dash between when you're born and when you die. And what are you doing to make the dash count? Because I would die twice if I knew that I didn't make it count for something. So why do you think people are not doing this? What is
Yes.
it's a fear, but what is it?
So when we get back to the earlier story of being these little babies who come into the world and have to figure out what's their mission and what we're supposed to do here, we learn a lot of things pre-verbal. And what
Okay.
happens in those pre-verbal moments is we have great heartbreak, huge heartbreak.
Mm,
For example, let's say you're my mother and
yeah.
it's day 2 and I'm sitting in your
Mm.
arms and you're nursing me or you're giving me
Oh,
a cuddle. Every single love hormone is flying around. If I was an emoji, you would see like, or if I was the little hearts flying up, but I'm
hard
learning this,
eyes.
and yeah, that it's so safe and delicious and amazing here with my love, my first true love. But
Right.
then the fourth day, somebody calls you and you take the call and you take your eyes away from me. So now I'm having what something's happening that's the worst thing's ever happened in my life.
Right. Like,
I
where
don't
is
even,
she?
where is she? Then you get bad news. Someone died. You start crying. You take your energy from me. So my son, for example, when he was nursing, he would do this thing where he would squeeze my elbow, and
Mm,
he did it first. And I was like, "Oh, that's so cute that Ryden is squeezing my elbow." But I realized, oh, he had a moment where something happened. What happened was his sister came. I took my energy
mm.
from him, his older sister. So he then realized, oh, he has to keep the love coming. So he started
Ah.
this little habit, and that's what we all do. We all get
Security
scared.
blanket. Became his little security blanket, your little elbow.
That's right.
Mm,
Whatever the
mm.
thing is, like I became hypervigilant and looking for love. My dad wasn't around. My mom was super young. I started looking for love everywhere. Are you my love? Are you my love? Are you my love?
Right,
And
right.
trying anything to keep that going. And we take the information back to this thing of math and kindergarten, math in high school. Now I'm a grown person, but I am still operating on the baby love lesson
Yeah.
because
And
I
that
don't.
pre-brain, you're like 2 months old if you've never developed it. Wherever the trauma kind of disrupted your development, that's where you're stuck. And
Well,
I
we
think
all
that's why
are.
people don't get it. Yeah, we all are. We're
And
stuck
the
somewhere.
And the brain has got a lot of areas. It's a map. You got your
Hmm.
the frontal cortex, and you got your reptilian.
Occipitals and
Yeah, but
yes.
there's a part of your brain that actually is the partner to the heart.
Oh, which part is that? Do you know?
I have to. I have a map somewhere. I got to. This is where I'm a 10th grade high school dropout. I'm like, I'll find it and send it to you. But the point is
Okay.
that that is the leader. And the other part of
Ah,
the brains, it's like a hype person on stage is not the star. They're the
right.
person hyping the energy, and that's what ego is here to do. And when you get your
Mm,
heart, when you lean into your heart to lead, and it taps into that love connection that it's evolving every other organ and really leading the brain and where it's going to go, it becomes a different charge in your body and your reality. And then you
mm,
start to do the inner work of recalibrating everything else to be in line with that initiative and that mission. And
right.
when you fall into that mission, everything happens. That's your God self. That's your creation self. Money
Right.
is down that road. Everything is down there. But we
Everything.
make these tiny micro moves all day to readjust and support the brain, and we jump off the trail of the heart. And so
I
reframing
love,
confrontation is
right.
communication.
I love what you said just about jumping the path to everything. Everything is down the path of following your heart. I mean, I don't know, I have goosebumps. That just was like, OMG. Because we don't believe that,
No,
right?
no,
We don't. We're like, no, heart is nice, but
messy.
life is necessary. Life is lifing. And that's cute, but I got to be over here doing the things. And what you're saying is you could be doing all the things you want to do if you just followed your heart,
That's
right?
right.
And so,
It may be a longer
Wow.
road, it may be a different road,
A
but that's all
difficult
about the trust in
road.
you, right? It's
Right.
like the inner work is great. I'm so happy that post pandemic we are so much more aware than we've ever been. We're more
Right.
conscious, we're more open, but we're still doing it for the gram. We're still
Most
spiritual
of us.
enough to share.
Right.
I've been guilty of that at times where it's like, oh, I learned this thing at my yoga retreat, but I didn't go in enough to actually make the real changes.
Right.
And guess what? We don't have a choice. If your
No.
life is amazing and you don't need anything, then ignore us. But if you want partnership and partnership is everything. You want
Yeah.
partnership with children, partnership with your friends, partnership in the business you start. You want people to really be aligned with you. You want community. You want love. All of that is the same work.
Absolutely. And I would say for myself, what I struggled with is vulnerability. And so there must have been something, I'm still doing the work too, that told my brain that opening up and being honest about how I felt was not okay. So I don't know whether I got slapped down or shunned or whatever the point is, but there's some lesson that happened early on in life for me that suggested that vulnerability was bad. Like no
Well,
bad. Like don't tell people stay strong, don't ever show you know what I mean? And I've found that I'm constantly working on being more vulnerable, right? And knowing that it's not going to kill me. It's not the end of the world. And as a matter of fact, I believe it's what will bring about the authentic connections that I'm looking for, right? And so that's that, but it's taking me 40 something years to figure that out, And I'm just
before,
like, or more, it'll take me more, but at least I know now.
before.
Like I've acknowledged I'm acknowledging that and I'm just like, but there's so many people who don't even understand what I mean by that, right? Or not like you're nodding your head. This is some of the work that you've delved into.